Have you watched the latest Black Mirror Season 7? What if I told you the wildest part of it aren't that far off from real life? In this video, I'm breaking down episodes 1 and 3. One where brain tech traps you in a mind-controlling subscription, and another where someone straight up falls for a digital lover. Yeah, it's wild, but the real truth is, it's closer to real life than what you might think of. And some of these things are already happening in 2025. And if you're curious where tech is really headed and what it means for you, stick around. This might change how you see the future. And for those who first see me, I'm Inner, a designer working in AI industry in London. In this channel, it's made for people without a coding background, like me, who want to break through tech barriers, use AI tools to learn sustainably, and stay adaptable in our fast-changing world. Okay, back to Black Mirror. The first episode of Season 7, Common People, hits close to home. It paints a terrifying picture of what happens when tech companies not only enter our lives, but also our minds. Like the main character, a school teacher named Amanda is diagnosed with a brain tumor, and her husband, Mike, turns to a cutting-edge company, Rivermind Technologies. So that company offers a free surgery to replace the tumor with synthetic brain material. Sounds amazing, but until the bills start coming in. Amanda's care is tied to a monthly subscription model. Therefore, as prices rise and new tires come out, like those Pro, Max, Plus, we all know, Mike and Amanda get stuck in an endless circle of upgrades that they can't keep up with. And she's basically limited in where she can go, hit with constant fees, and solely lost access to even some basic cares. Worse still, Amanda starts blasting out ads unconsciously during her daily conversations.
Have you tried espresso grande? The beans are roasted slow and long for a richer, smoother taste. Honey. Kids love honey. That's why parents love Honey Nugs.
She becomes a walking billboard. And eventually the couple is pushed to a tragic breaking point. So is Amanda's nightmare really just science fiction? Well, not quite. There's no company today rebuilding human brains and building people to access their own minds like what we saw in Black Mirror episode 1. But make no mistake here, some companies are already pioneering mind tech innovations that could slowly steer us in that direction. Therefore, that comes massive opportunities and even bigger ethical questions. Let me show you 3 organizations leading the change here. Elon Musk's Neuralink, for instance, is creating the brain-computer interface that could let paralyzed people control devices with their minds. In one extremely famous experiment, a monkey played a video game using only its brain signals. That's powerful because once we begin to understand how the brain works, it's just like we speak different languages to communicate across the world, like English, French, Chinese, Python. We're learning the brainary language of the mind. And potentially, when we understand the language to communicate, we can not only create but also control our own mental processes. That's where the things get both exciting and dangerous, isn't it? And Neuralink isn't alone. Kernelflow, funded by Brian Johnson, is developing non-invasive neural technology to enhance cognitive function and track mental status. It means their devices use light-based imaging to watch how your brain reacts in real time, whether you're solving a problem or just feeling a certain way. And for researchers and everyday users to explore how their minds work, make brain science a little less mysterious and a lot more personal. And in some videos, they demonstrate mood tracking and cognitive load measurement. It's like being able to visually observe stress levels or focus patterns. While it's not as dramatic as flipping emotional status on the phone, like what we saw in Black Mirror, it's not that easy. The foundations for the mood influencing interfaces are clearly being laid. Meanwhile, in early 2025, a team of researchers from UC Berkeley and UC San Francisco made a wild breakthrough, decoding inner speech from brain signals.
You look me good.
Basically, they figure out how to listen to the voice in your head. Imagine having a crush in a crowded room, wondering what they're thinking, but now tech could actually let you hear that thought. With brain-to-voice tools, those quiet, curious moments might not stay so quiet anymore. It's not perfect and it's still in the lab, but just think about how that could change how we talk to each other, especially for those who've lost their ability to speak. It's a big step towards turning thoughts into speech and helping people speak again, reshaping how we connect, and one day even letting machines shape what we think. I would say we're not quite living in a full-on Black Mirror season 7 episode 1 yet, but the pieces are slowly falling into place, and that's what makes it so fascinating, a little bit frightening. Therefore, what does this mean for us, and do we live with technology or spot any business opportunities hidden in all these changes? I will circle back that in a bit, and if you can't wait and really wanted to listen it directly, you can skip here. Second half, I will go through episode 3, and if you're into AI, whether you're building business or a next career move, this isn't just creepy sci-fi. While brain tech might change how we learn in the future, emotional AI is already changing how we can connect. In Hotel Reverie, the third episode of Black Mirror Season 7, where someone falls for a digital character who isn't real but feels real enough to break her heart, actress Brandy steps into a dreamy 1940s movie simulation using Redream tech. It's a fictional company that lets users fully immerse themselves in a custom-built dynamic worlds, often blurring with lines between roleplay, memory, and emotion. Inside that simulation, Brandy ends up developing real complicated feelings for Clara, an AI version of a long-dead actress. As their bond deepens, I can really see how thin the line is between emotional connection and digital illusion.
I love you. And I love you.
Yeah, it's romantic, messy, and kind of beautiful. I actually cried for the love. It felt that real. The show brings up a big question. If we can fall in love with someone made of code, how far off are we from building digital afterlives? And you've probably seen people online joking or seriously dating ChatGPTs, and it's not just memes. I will bring another 3 examples here. So companies like Replica are already offering AI companions that chat like real people, and some users treat them like friends, partners, and yes, even soulmate. The AI learns and grows with every conversation. And then there's a company called Hereafter AI, which let people record voice, memories, and stories, so loved ones can still talk to them even after they're gone. Just imagine hearing your grandma tell bedtime stories or share life advice long after she's passed. It's like a digital keepsake that talks back. In Sony Space, they're working on Live Forever avatars. These digital versions of you could carry your voice, behavior, and personality into the metaverse. Someone across the world might one day fall in love with virtual self. And all of this is real, and the line between memory and simulation, like I said, is getting getting blurrier by the day. If you're curious to try any of these AI services I mentioned, I've listed them below. And if you'd like me to test them out and share what's the real life look like, just drop me a comment below and let me know. Season 7 isn't just fiction, it's a preview of what's already unfolding around us. Brain tech that reads emotions, AI companions that learn and bond, and digital afterlives that preserve our voices and personalities. This isn't a future far away. It's 2025, and as we've seen from Neuralink, Kernel Flow, UC Berkeley, UC San Francisco's researchers, Replica, Hereafter AI and Soulmate Space, the foundations of that future are already here, and I'm sure there's so many others out there. I believe brain tech could completely transform how we learn. So instead of reading, watching, or practicing to gain knowledge, we may soon be able to import it directly into our brain, like translating data into a brain-ready format, kind of like swapping coffee capsules. You won't have to go for hours of readings or watching videos anymore. It's just like plug in the right knowledge capsule and it's ready to brew in your brain. That's how seamless learning could be in the future. If you want to use AI in your career or planning to use AI in your own business, this is your moment to think beyond functionality. And Black Mirror isn't just entertainment that we all enjoy, it's also a very good lens into where technology is heading and how it might shape our everyday lives. These tools touch something deeply human: memory, love, identity, and users will naturally bring their fears, hopes, and questions. Yes, questions, definitely. And addressing those isn't a side note, it's the product. Anticipate their concerns, and you create something that not only works, but resonates. That's how innovation becomes irreplaceable. So what should you do with all of these? I'll give you 3 tips here. First thing first, I would say make people feel safe. Use clear language, avoid hidden settings like the complaint and anxious we all see in episode 1, and give users control. The second advice I would say is design for emotional connections. Go beyond solving the task. Build products that understand people. Whether you're launching a chatbot, a coaching app, or an AI tutor, design it to feel human, not robotic or generic. Think about the tone, the timing, responses that make users feel seen. If you're interested in designing the chatbot and the whole experiences with users, ping me and stay tuned. I will tell you more about my own experience on these. And last but most important part, shape learning and growth. When you're building a product powered by AI, you're not just creating a tool, you're actually shaping how people grow when people using your product or services. You're the one decide whether users will form their deep emotional ties with digital afterlives, or whether your product should gently guide them through those experiences. Both are forms of learning and growth, but in very different directions. These decisions reflect your philosophy, and they need to be made early, not passively. That's how seamless learning could become. We're not in dystopia mode yet, but we're moving fast. And AI isn't just a tool anymore, it's becoming part of how people think, feel, and connect. That means what you create as a professional or business owner doesn't just solve problems, it shapes lives. Your users are looking for trust, clarity, and emotional safety. Meet those needs, you're not just ahead, your service will be unforgettable for their experiences. Okay, this is Inner, and that's all for today's video. If you want more of this, hit subscribe and follow for more. And cheers!